Isaac says he's. All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Hangout with Replicant EDC and Boomer's Blade. Today's special guest is none other than the one and only Ben Belkin of Jack Wolf Knives and Donnie Simmons of Jack Wolf Knives. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Appreciate it. We love you guys. All right, so
What's up, guys?
how's it been? How you been?
Awesome, man.
Donnie, Ben,
Good.
pleasure to have you guys.
Yeah,
Always a
thank you.
good time talking to you guys.
Thank you.
My
Thank you for
my
being here.
daughter just came in here and gave me a sticker from Whataburger.
Nice.
That's a good
I
one.
think that's a
That's
pretty
a good one.
Yeah.
that's a pretty cool sticker. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. Dig it.
What's your
Heck yeah.
Whataburger? What's your Whataburger order?
Actually, so I've been to Whataburger about 2-3 different times. I think I had it like in Florida, right? And the couple times that I've been, I haven't been a fan. But they just they just built a Whataburger here in town, and my wife went to go buy some Whataburger tonight. I told her just to pick up whatever she ordered for me, and I'd eat it after the live. So I have no idea what she picked up, but
Dealer's choice. That's nice,
yeah.
dude.
So I'm
Number
more of
one.
a In-N-Out guy. I gotta say I'm more of an In-N-Out guy, but tonight will tell once I have dinner. But
I gotta
yeah,
admit,
typically I'm a
In and Out
In-N-Out
is
guy.
not bad. I gotta admit, In and Out is not bad. For me,
hmm
number one with cheese, extra mustard, well done. Sometimes onion rings instead of fries, and a small drink. I really don't drink a lot of soda. What about you guys?
Go ahead, Ben.
I
Ben, Donnie?
I usually get like whatever they call their cheeseburger, but there's some key
Okay.
items like that I like to do. Like you can get your bun double toasted,
Yeah.
which which is like I like that. And then I like the spicy ketchup. So sometimes I get some with bacon, sometimes I don't get the bacon, whatever, but it's always some kind of burger. But I got to make sure my buns are double toasted
Yep.
and that I got that spicy ketchup on there.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I forgot about
I
the
will
spicy
say the
ketchup.
times that I've been to Whataburger, I definitely like the spicy ketchup. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
nice
it's good
touch.
stuff.
I haven't
It's
been to Whataburger burger yet. Jeez.
you never have, Donnie?
No, I mean, I never had them back east, where I
Oh, okay.
live. And so then I show up here and then they got In and Out. And so everyone's like, you got to go to In and Out. So I've been hitting that,
Yeah, I
So
love a
Whataburger's
double
on my
Yeah.
double, man.
list. Double, dude, animal style. I'm
Yeah,
down.
there you go.
Yeah.
I'm down.
So Whataburger, I don't know if you guys know this, but it originated from Corpus Christi, which I'm always
Mm.
over there.
Oh, sick.
That was the first Whataburger. It was a little bitty shack stand, and it's still there.
Nice. I knew it was a
That's
Texas thing,
cool.
but I didn't know it was from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Gulf.
yeah.
That's
Corpus
cool.
Christi. I was just over there the day before yesterday. Hot as hell, humid, like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, it's got to be rough, dude.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
talk about
So
Phoenix heat, man. Y'all in parts in Texas is way worse. It's worse.
really, so do you guys have a dry heat or a I don't know what's the other thing called. It's either dry heat or
It's
Or
dry.
like humid.
humidity.
Yeah.
Humidity. That's the word I'm looking
That's
for.
what we
Thanks,
have
man.
here is humid.
Same here,
No,
dude.
this
This
is
morning I get out. Go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
I was just gonna say we're in an arid desert. Like we don't have nothing rusts here. We do get some humidity in the summer, some, but this is one of the most driest places you've ever been. Is really what it boils down
Oh
to.
wow.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So
the
the
high
smoke,
humidity out here is like 30, 40%. Like that's as high as it usually gets, unless it's just raining. But
which is like
yeah.
today. Yeah, it was there.
yeah,
We actually tied a record. I just saw it on Facebook. We tied a record for today, like this calendar day, for the highest low. Like some places it never got under 100 overnight.
Wow.
Jesus.
And at Sky Harbor, our airport, they recorded 97 degrees as the low. So
Wow.
Wow.
it's gone from like 97 to about 113 today. And the humidity's up like 25-30%. So kind of
Wow.
sucks out there today. I'm not going to
yeah,
lie.
it's tough.
But
It's tough.
Yeah, that
Wow.
whatever.
that humidity will get you. I mean, you can be standing in shade and you'll just be drenched in
Yep.
sweat from the humidity.
Can't escape it,
That's
can you?
that's exactly how it was this morning. First thing I had opened the gates to pull out my truck, and then just literally pulling out my truck and opening and closing the gates, I was already sweating. So I was like, "This is ridiculous."
Yeah. Hey, Damien, how
So
far are you from Knoxville?
Knoxville. I want to say
Like Smoky Mountain Knife Works, how far are you from those guys?
about
like two,
3 hours.
3 hours, right?
Yeah. Let me give you a real time.
I'm going to be out there in October.
Oh,
No
really?
way.
Yeah, they
To
have Smoky Mountain Knife Works. They do this fall festival. It's like on a Saturday, Sunday, October 20, like second or right around there.
oh, okay.
So I'll be there. I'm actually gonna fly in to Nashville and then go hang out for a night with my friend Tom Medvedich, notorious EDC. I'm gonna crash at his place, spend the day with him, and then we're gonna drive over the few hour drive. I guess it'd be east, right, to the
Yeah.
Knoxville area because they're near Knoxville, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and then grabbing a hotel there, and then I'll be there for a couple nights for the show.
Oh, awesome.
That's
Okay.
my first
I
time
just
in
looked it up.
Tennessee.
Really?
Really.
Okay. I just looked it up on Google. It's 4 hours from me.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
oh, that's
not
could be.
close, but it's
It's
not
just
brutal.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Could be
Okay.
worse. Could be 14 hours,
Nice.
like Florida is to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, the
talk to me about
latest
this
drop,
awesome
Damien.
knife. The
The
latest
latest
drop.
drop.
I gotta
Right,
ask
right
about the
off, right
shield,
off the
guys.
bat, right off the bat, I gotta ask, what made you guys want to make that a male?
Yeah,
I always thought that was like the most hilarious shield, dude. And just the fact that it's old school. It's like I didn't make it up. Like it's been around, you know?
yeah,
And you don't see it a lot, but you'll see it on really expensive customs.
Really?
Oh
Oh,
Okay.
dude,
yeah.
I saw Tony Bowes Lanny with one with like stag. Well, dude, this thing was nice. It was so nice.
So I always thought
I
to
had.
myself, I'm like, that shield, first of all, it's hilarious, but it's also cool looking. Like it's
Yep.
interesting. And so many people just use like the federal shield, like the shield I put on the Barlow, like that shield gets used all the
Yeah, yeah,
time in some form or fashion. And I'm like, we're gonna have fun with the shields, and I'm definitely putting the balls on there.
yeah. Hell
Awesome.
yeah. That's
I
So
just
that.
got to do it.
what's the story with that shield? Do you know the story of that shield or
I really don't know.
okay.
I'm not a
It's called
historical
a
expert
bullet,
on a lot of
right?
bullet. Yeah,
Uh,
some people. So there's been some convers. Yeah, look at that thing.
Hold on,
What's
Donnie. Let me make a
gold?
link.
diploma.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, come
Oh
on,
yeah.
man. Like, look at
Wow, yeah.
like
that.
if Tony Bose can do it, we can do it.
Yeah, it's
So
dope.
some people say there was some conversation on Reddit about it because like I didn't do the homework. I just picked it. I thought it was cool. But there's like something called a Bullock dagger that's like a historical dagger, and I think the handle kind of had a shape like that.
Mhm.
Also, too, like you know, people use knives to castrate bulls.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Good
if
point.
there's some
Oh, you
history
think
there.
that's where it came from?
Dude, how could it not be
Uh,
somehow related to
yeah.
cow
Yeah.
nuts? I just don't know. I
The
don't know why the
top of
top of it looks like a chess piece. You
That's what
know,
I was gonna ask.
It,
The
it
top
does.
of it looks like a chess piece.
looks like
Yeah.
the king on the chessboard, or even the queen with a
No,
pair.
it's gotta be the king. It's
Got to
gotta be
be
it's gotta
I
be
mean, it's
the king.
2026. It could be the queen. You just never know anymore. But
Oh, go ahead, Donnie. Check it out.
They're good.
I
Damn,
I
that's
thought
beautiful.
the way the handle kind of gets wide, like that shield just fit it perfect, you know? So I was like, "Oh, we're doing it, dude." I refuse not to.
When we were
That is.
prototyping, I'm like, Ben, you sure about that? He's like, yes, I love it.
What the?
I'm like, all
Yeah,
right,
I'm
let's
about to
do it.
go.
Let's go.
I
Yeah, I
love
thought that
it.
was
Oh,
pretty cool,
Love it.
man. I remember looking
And
at
that
it. I
was
thought,
probably my favorite one. That root beer Kira Night
yes,
and the
Yeah, it's
white,
cool.
was it a white bone that was an exclusive to
in
somewhere?
Germany. In Germany.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was interesting because so we've done white bone a couple times in the past. And when I called the dealer in Germany, her name's Maxie. She's like the coolest lady ever. When I called Maxie and I was like, "Okay, what do you want to do for your exclusive?" And she picked a white bone, and I was like, me and Donnie were like, "It's a safe choice, you know, it's not super out there." And I
yeah,
didn't know if some people would be like, "It's too plain." But what really surprised me was like everyone's like, "Ooh, the white one, ooh, the white one," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, there's like something me and Donnie need to pay closer attention to right there."
yeah,
It seems like some materials people really dig on, like the Gateway series, maybe even a little more than like the premium knives, and then vice versa, right? Some guys want something on a premium, but they don't really want it on the Gateway. It's weird. It's been something we've been struggling with, but we've been, we go back and forth a lot. I've been trying to figure out the right what suits each model the best. It's we rack our brains on it quite a bit.
It's probably the most difficult decisions we have to make
Mm,
is what are these things going to look like? Because we have to imagine them in our minds. We can't, like, we don't get to see them most of the time because we come up with them and then I order the stuff and I send it over. And it's like, okay, well, we'll see it when we see it, you know?
Yeah. How far in advance do you guys get like prototypes? Like as far as
Well,
like runs go, how far in advance do you get a prototype?
so think about the process as there's like two distinct processes. There's the R&D process, research and development, and then there's production. So nothing can go into production until it's been through research and development, right? It's got to come through the research and development process, and I have to approve it before it can ever get made. So a prototype is a function of the research and development process. So I might develop something and go through drawings, couple prototype versions. Okay, I finally like this. We're going to approve this drawing. We're going to approve this prototype. Now it's ready for production. But we might not put it into production for a year. You know, it's on the shelf ready to go. So to answer your question, if I submit drawings for something and I approve an initial drawing and it's like, okay, then I pay to get these prototypes made, you can get those prototypes in like, let's just say 90 to 120 days. So 3 to 4 months, you'll
Okay.
get, and these are not like thrown together prototypes. They're 95% of what the finished knife is going to be like
Uh-huh.
because they build all the tooling and everything to make it. That's why you got to pay to have the prototypes made. And it's like a decent chunk of change.
okay, okay.
And
Okay.
usually they're not good to go the first time around. Like usually they're not so bad you just abandon ship, but it's like, okay, we got to change a choil. The blade tip's sticking up here. This handle's too wide. Like, all this kind of stuff that you got to flush out. So once we approve a prototype, that means there's a drawing that's approved, there's a prototype that's approved. So when I go to order those knives for production, I expect them to match the drawing and the prototypes that we approved. Like that's the expectation. When we
and
make a
what's
production, go ahead, Donnie.
no, and I was just saying what's so nice is they've been doing slip joints specifically for so long. They really have been. just nailing them and getting them down
Yeah.
one after, even better and better, like amazingly enough. And
No,
so
Oh,
we
definitely.
rarely run into any surprises.
No,
Yeah.
no, and some of it's preference. Like, okay, they send a prototype. Like, okay, take that Stockman for example. There's not a lot to
Hmm.
pinch on that thing. It's just the nature of the handle design.
yeah,
So we had to make sure the nail nick was big enough and crisp enough, and that the spring wasn't super stiff, because guys would have a hard time opening it. And so I think the first prototypes we got, the springs were too stiff on these.
Hmm.
So it's like that's your chance to kind of flush that stuff out. Take it from
okay.
90% to 100%.
Ben, didn't they thin these out a little bit too since
Yes, that was
prototype?
the
Yeah.
other thing. The first
So they
version of
thinned out
that.
the did they thin out the blade or the handle?
No, the handle, like I didn't catch
Hmm.
it in the drawing. This is another reason. Here's a lesson you'll, if anybody's listening, don't take stuff for granted. Like, don't approve a drawing and be like, I'm sure it will be fine. It's like, no,
Yeah,
go through the
Yeah.
trust, respect the process, get the prototype,
yeah,
because I approved a drawing and the contours were bigger on the handles and I didn't realize it. And when we got the prototypes made, it wasn't material I provided. It was just material they provided for me, like the bone they provide, for example. So we get the prototypes, and it was like a thicker knife, like the from like inside the blade well to the top of the peak of the scale, like the top of the hill. They were
hmm
thicker, like more round in your hand. And we were like, oh, that's interesting. And I didn't really think much about it other than this is a little different. Like they were cool. But then
Yeah.
when it was time to order material, they're like, you need to order thicker material for that one. I'm like, why would I need to do that? It's always the same. They're like, no, you got a thicker handle on this one.
That's
I'm like, well,
thicker
I don't want a
handles.
thicker handle. I don't want to order
yeah,
weird thickness material. Like let's make it the same as our other knives. So yeah, that one
yeah.
almost slipped right by me.
Wow,
That's
that
interesting.
would have been.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
tell
so
you what.
definitely.
Go ahead, Boomer.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's a lot of moving pieces, and it's easy for something to slip through the cracks or go wrong. So
Oh, I
that's
bet.
really like
I
what
bet.
I think we're pretty good at is keeping the ducks in a row, because boy do they want to run
Yeah,
around.
Mhm.
definitely.
It's
So, do you get a prototype of each pattern or of each model, or
Yeah,
like you get
so
an '80s camo, a blue bone,
when we
clear
do
night?
prototypes, prototypes, they never see the light of day. They're just for me and Donnie to kind of understand, to try to identify what some of the issues might be. So prototypes can go one of two ways. Sometimes I use a prototype as an opportunity to try out a new material. So let's say we go to Blade Show and I see this like some cool handle material we've never used before. I'm not just going to go buy, enough to make 300 knives of that stuff before I test it out somehow. So I'll like pick up a sheet at Blade Show, or I'll order a sheet from them, and then I'll send it over to the factory and I'll say, okay, I sent you like a 12 by 12-inch piece of this new stuff. So the next time you make me prototypes, I want to use it. So that way I can see what it looks like. You guys can see what it's like to work with, because sometimes this stuff can be a problem to work with, like on their machines.
Mhm.
So
Right.
sometimes we use prototypes as a way to test new stuff. Sometimes we just say like, send me a micarta one, send me a bone one, send me a wood one. Yeah, I know you have leftover carbon fiber because I always send a little extra. Just grab some of that. Like sometimes we don't really care. We just
Yeah,
want to get a couple different examples to make sure there's nothing weird going on. So it goes either way. But what we don't typically do is try to decide at the time we're doing prototypes, hey, what are these going to look like when we go to sell them? It's too
yeah,
far in advance, right? So we'll just kind of try to get a little bit of everything in the prototype phase, and then let's say it's a year later, a year and a half later. Okay, now we're going to make this for a drop. Now we're really looking at what's working for us right now. It's not working for us so much right now. What did we do last month? What are we doing next month? You're taking all that stuff
What's
into
popular
consideration.
right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally,
yeah,
totally,
yeah.
dude.
What's
Stuff
popular?
trends.
What's
Like, when's the last time you've seen some Ultim, right? Like
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
been
three
a
years
while, huh?
ago,
It's been
three
a
years
while
ago
Yeah.
was
since yeah,
everywhere. No one's
yeah.
doing it anymore because it's not popular anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My
So I
Jay has a
also
question for
noticed.
you guys. Have you guys
Hmm?
thought about a dog leg pattern, but with a sheep's foot or warny blade?
That's a good question.
interesting. In my mind, the first time, if I'm ever doing a dog leg, like the first one would be a sheep's foot, just because that's, or not sheep's foot, a spear point, because that's the way I see it, you know. And those are always my favorite ones. Now, but what you're saying there is interesting proposition, because as the Gateway series continues to evolve, there's no reason we can't do blade variations on the same handles, right?
I need to see a Tonto, Ben. I need to see a Tonto at some point.
For
Tonto
sure.
blade.
I mean, I understand, right? So, like, we did Gateway Barlows. Well, that Gateway Barlow could have every blade shape in it. You
Yeah,
know,
it could.
you could do a Warncliffe, you could
Yeah.
do a Spear Point, you could do a sheep's foot. So, to answer your question, my first canine would almost certainly be some kind of spear point or dog leg, which I always call a canine, but my first dog leg would almost certainly be a spear point.
Yeah. I
Um,
like the spear point blade.
I do
Yeah, I
too.
Yeah.
like a spear point blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like a spear
Doesn't
point.
have the
So
sex appeal of a clip point, but it's like the one you think of when you think of the classic blade. At least I do.
Hmm.
another thing I've noticed is the pull is always like a 7.5. Do you guys do that on purpose? Is that like your? Because that's my favorite, like sweet spot, I guess.
Yeah, well, everybody's scale is relative to like the way their mind perceives it. I don't know if I would
Yeah.
rate it that heavy personally, but like I'd probably call that a 6.5, 7. So you
Six
and
and a
I are
half.
like a half to a point apart.
Yeah.
But I would simply say that I don't like them to open super easy. I
Yeah.
like them. I don't mind when they're real stiff, but I don't want
Yeah.
these since the gateways are more units, they need to be easier for everybody. And that means I got to
Yeah.
stay away from like the eights and the eights and a
Eight,
halves
eight
for
and a
people,
half. Yeah.
you know?
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I happen to like the 6.5, 7, 7.5.
I think they're probably
Yeah.
perfect. I mean, if I could pick a number
Yeah.
and said every slip joint needs to be like this, I would say 6.5. It'd probably be the
And
Yeah.
perfect
it's
Seven.
Six,
number.
Yeah.
six between 6.5, 7.5 is perfection to
Yeah.
me.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah. To me, it's perfect
and
as well.
it's hard
Eight,
too,
no
because
too much.
like, I'm QCing all these knives. We're like handling all these knives like 1,000 times. I'm sitting in the office all
Yeah.
day doing this, and then you
Uh,
get really good at it, and then it's like, oh well, this
Yeah.
is a 5. It's like, no, for average guy or a new collector or something, they get it like, this is impossible. Like, how we see that all the time at Blade Show, like, hey, like, make it easy, and
It
So
would
I don't
the
trip
know.
you
first
out
Jack
at
Wolf
Blade
that
Show.
Yeah.
yeah. So the first Jack Wolf that I ever got, and that was, and I know I told you the story before, Ben, but I went to Carlos Trapper John's, and he's like, "Man, just come check it out. Put it in your hand." And it was the oh, it's in my little here. Let me show it real
is it the
quick.
Venom? Is it the
Okay.
Venom?
Yeah, yeah.
Toxic
I
Venom?
have
Oh
two
yeah.
Venoms, but it was the was it Toxic Green Venom?
Yeah, Toxic Green.
Yeah.
Toxic
Cool.
Green Venom. So I pulled it and I thought, oh my God, I never pulled anything that hard. You know what I mean? Which is really not all that hard. But being that I was only collecting case knives when I started,
Oh
and
yeah.
you
Big
pull a case knife
huge
and it's like
difference from a case to a
yeah,
Jack
it's a
Wolf.
huge difference. And so now it's like it's perfect. But I've already experienced different slip joints, the pull, and so now it's perfect. But when I first grabbed it, I thought it was the hardest pull I have ever, which it was that I had ever had in my hand.
Yeah, and I always wanted them to feel like it depends on the custom maker. Some custom makers keep them soft, but dude, some custom makers like you got to work at them. They won't bust your nail, but you're gonna engage. You're gonna interact with that spring,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
always what
Hmm.
I liked. I liked interacting with the spring, not just like oh the spring is there. Like it's me versus the spring here for a second. To
I
me,
yeah,
that's
have
fun.
always said I have always said that Jack Wolf premium knives are custom quality for a third of the price.
Yeah,
Because I've
that's
had
what we're after.
I've
Yep.
tried a lot of custom slip joints, and y'all's knives are up there with customs.
Yep.
It's up there in the quality,
It's
fit, and finish for the third of the price.
Yep.
I think some of that comes from the fact that I've I know what those are all about. I own them, I've collected them, and that's what I wanted, and I would have accepted nothing less. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's what the whole thing started was not everybody can afford to buy all these customs, but there's not enough production choices that even get you close. Like they're all so different. Like where's the production knife that gives me the experience of a custom, but I don't
Yep.
have to pay $800, right? And then
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
pay $800, like it ain't ever coming out of the safe, you know?
Yep.
It's like
Oh
it's not
yeah.
going for a ride in your pocket when you paid $800. It's a safe clean. You might take it out and play with it a little, take a couple pictures, but you
Carry
know,
it
Yeah.
on Sundays,
Uh,
church.
carry it on
Unless you're
Sundays.
boomer, 'cause-
Uh,
because I carry that custom pena everywhere. I mean, it's
I mean,
in
I
my
encourage
pocket.
people to use their custom knives. I think
Yeah,
all
heck
the
yeah.
custom makers would too. But we know that how it goes. You know, the more you
yeah,
pay for something, the less inclined you are to use it.
Oh, of course.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Ask me how many
So,
things I've cut with it. Not many,
right.
but I play
Yeah,
with it a lot.
you're not going to cut open a bag of drywall mud with
No.
your $800 knife. Like it's just not going to
Yep.
happen. That thing's badass.
Yeah. Thanks,
Ooh.
man. Got it at
That
Trapper John's.
shield's that shield's called the
The
double
bomb shield,
bomb. Double bomb. I
double
think that's a
bomb.
double bomb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double bomb.
Yeah, it's cool.
Nasty.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love this
Is that
thing.
Yeah.
a front
Hey,
flipper?
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Oh,
it's not only a front flipper, but you can spidey flick it. Well, hold on. Give me a second here. But it
sweet.
doesn't have a nail nick. That's the cool thing about it. I
it's got
watched this live at
that hollow grind, baby.
yeah, that hollow grind hand satin finish.
Yeah,
I just love this thing. I remember when I told Ben I'm gonna get a pena because I'd never had a pena, and he's like, "Man, you're getting it from the best." And this thing
yeah,
is
Yeah,
absolutely
he's
amazing. I
definitely
love it. Oh yeah,
a
you got
fan of
shoes.
Pena.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a
yeah.
moolah,
Amy's a
right?
big time fan.
I love the
He's such a cool guy, though.
Caballero model.
Caballero. Yep.
Love
That's what
this
that
one.
one is.
That was nice.
Come out to Blade Show Atlanta. He'll make you tacos and sell you
Oh,
a
he made
knife at
us
the same
Oh,
tacos
time,
here at
man.
Trapper
I've always
John's.
wanted to go.
Oh,
That's one of the
He
reasons.
made
That's
us.
one of the top reasons I want to go is to eat one of Pena's
I'll
tacos.
I'll tell you
So
about that,
last
dude. Like
year,
we all like stuffed our face, Ben. Where did we go? We did Korean barbecue. Is that where it
Hmm.
was? And then we walked from the car and they were making the tacos. We wanted to eat first because we didn't know how, how if it'd have enough or whatever. We loaded up on tacos after we had dinner. It was
Wow.
not a great idea, but it was so good.
yeah, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
So he went
Uh,
last year. He was at Trapper John's, which he's local, right? Carlos is a friend of mine, and he brought his taco truck, and I hung out there with him. And man, he was just barbecuing burgers, tacos, and he was trying to stuff my face. I'm like, man, no, no, thank you. I've already eaten, and Carlos only has one restroom, so we have like 100 and something people in here. I'll go ahead and
Uh,
just not eat anymore. But yeah, it was delicious, man. And he will try to stuff your face though.
oh
It's pretty
man,
cool to
that's
do.
Enrique's
awesome.
he's an artist. He
Hmm.
Yeah.
with his food, with his knives. He builds he like rebuilds old trucks. He's
Huh.
So you know what's
interesting
funny
dude.
I've seen that.
is that the company I work for, I don't really like to announce it, right? I think Ben, you know who I work for. Well, come to find out, I was talking to a guy about knives. I said, "Man," I said, "You know who Penny is?" I was in Laredo because we have yards in Laredo. I was like, you know what? Have you ever heard of Enrique Pena? He said, "Yeah, he used to work here. He was always talking about making knives." So I was like, "No way, yeah!" And dude, right there, because I go to Laredo to sweep the yards, and he's like, "Yeah, man, we know him. He used to work here. He's
He was
always
a
showing."
diesel mechanic.
Yeah, he was a diesel mechanic. Yeah, I didn't know that.
How
So I
cool.
called
Hmm.
Carlos that day and I was like, why didn't you tell me? I'm always in Laredo because Carlos is from Laredo. I was like, dude, I'm always over here. He used to work for, and I said my company. He's like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. He did. I thought that was pretty cool.
Uh, yeah,
That's
that's
dope.
cool.
Small world, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very small.
Yeah, it
Well,
is a small
it's
world. When you get to talking to people, somebody knows somebody else,
Somebody
and that
knows
person knows
somebody. Yeah.
somebody else. Everybody knows. Yeah, it is a
I
small
got
world.
about 25 minutes available, fellas.
Okay.
So you
All
want to
right.
do
No
some
Okay.
problem.
Q&A stuff? Like what you want to talk about anything specific, Sam?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about and I know we talked about it, the bionic. How did you come up creating the bionic and the cyborg, which is basically one's a slip joint? And I'll pull a couple out.
Yeah, pull it out. So it wasn't one of the first 10 that I did, okay? But after I did the first 10 designs, shortly thereafter is when I started thinking about I want to draw something that's not a historical pattern. I'm not going to start off a historical pattern. I'm just going to draw something like free draw it. No, no,
Yeah.
no. I'm not interpreting anything. I'm just drawing. So I like to start by drawing a blade because a handle's got to fit around a blade. And so I always just think like, okay, first I'm going to draw a blade, and then I'm going to see if I can draw a handle around it that looks good and makes sense. Maybe
Yeah.
some other guys go the other way. It just sort of makes sense in my mind. So I drew this long, swoopy clip point blade that kind of ramps up at the top. Like it's not, if you notice, there's not a straight line coming off that bolster. It's actually heading up and then down. And so I drew this blade and I was like, it's got a traditional vibe to it, but it also has a modern, almost not futuristic, but it's like it's got something modern going on. And that was what I was feeling at the time. And so I said, okay, I want to draw a handle that's kind of plays off that. And so many of the designs, all the designs leading up to that were very curvy. And if you look at a lot of slip joints, they're real organic looking. Like they don't have a lot of straight lines or angles. There's a lot of curves, arcs, sweeps. So I'm like, I'm drawing this to suit my sensibilities, and I want to but I don't want it to look like a modern knife. I still want it to have the vibe of a traditional knife, but with sort of like that 80s boxy style.
Yeah.
And so when I started drawing that handle, it let me kind of play with that. And I was trying real hard not to have any of the lines be parallel to each other. So if you really look at that knife, like all the lines, they might be running in the same direction, but they're not parallel. Like
Oh,
this one will
okay.
be kicked
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
this one's at an angle. And I drew that thing purposely to have no parallel lines. And I was like, I really dig it. And so when we started thinking about the name, I'm like, it's like more futuristic in the handle and more human in the blade, but it's still futuristic. I'm like, it's like a cyborg. It's like part man, part
There
machine.
you go.
So I drew the big one. And at the time, I was really focused on wanting to do big versions and small versions of things because I
Mhm.
always thought that was cool in my own collection. So I actually
Yeah.
drew
Heck
the
yeah.
cyborg and the mini cyborg at the same time. I produced both of those at the same time. And yeah, I didn't know how people would feel about it, but I was super stoked on it. And it turned out to be really popular.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that
Um,
mini cyborg
So,
that Boomer has.
oh
I
Mhm.
love
yeah,
that one.
yeah. So the
Yeah, me
ergos
too.
on this thing is just absolutely amazing, man.
it's
This is probably one of my favorite. I mean, I say that about every Jack Wolf knife, but the ergos on this thing is just amazing. Even on the little the mini cyborg, I have extra large hands, man, and it still fits really good in my hand.
it's an awesome knife
So
that you
it
barely
is,
know you have on you. It's like,
yeah.
you know, it's not too small, but it'll do everything you need it to do. And then
And another. Go ahead. Sorry, Ben. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say the Bionic is it's that knife scaled up. Now on the Bionic, one of the challenges we had was the top flipper was pretty easy to figure out. It flips good, but it was like, how are we gonna middle finger flick this? And
Hmm.
so we came up with that mini fuller,
Mhm.
and it's like it looks good and it works good. And I was like so stoked that we were able to get the two modes of deployment on that thing because it doesn't have a big long fuller like a lot of the other knives do. It's in just the right spot.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
gonna have
these things are amazing.
more of your own designs coming out in the future? Have
I
you
would not,
Funny
designed
I
you
like
would
ask that.
say, yeah, I would say yes. Now, I was telling this to Sam, like one of the things that's challenging for me is I'm not, some guys can sit down and draw these knives like it comes out super easy for them. I don't have a lot of hours in the CAD programs like some of these other designers do. Like I know just enough about it to do it and get what I want, but it's not super easy for me and it's not what I really am drawn to spending my time doing. Like I do it because I like it and I did it in the beginning because I absolutely had to.
uh,
But if but I really like running the business. Like if I wanted to be a full-time designer, there wouldn't be a Jack Wolf Knives. I'd be pumping out designs and selling them and licensing them and I'd be a designer. But I like orchestrating things, like that's what I really like. Now that doesn't mean I don't like designing. It just means I'm not as drawn to it as I am like making 12 drops a year happen. Like it ain't easy to put 12 drops a year together, right? And have each one of
Yeah,
them be
yeah,
different and interesting and unique and
yeah,
on time and distributed worldwide. Like that's a lot of work. And
yeah,
and it's like the exact type of opposite headspace as a designing thought process. Like designing
Mhm.
is like real, it's artistic, it's you get in a creative zone, but making things happen is like call this guy, email that guy, fill out this spreadsheet, send this to him, do this, send this money, ship this thing. Like it's like boom, 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 boom. It's totally different mindset. So
Yeah.
if I can if I can grow the company to where I can start getting some more help to do some of the stuff I'm doing regularly, it will take the pressure off me and allow me to have that creative time to
yeah.
do that
Creative
kind of
time.
stuff. Because
Uh,
dude, like if I'm going to design a knife, I really ought to carve off like at least a week of uninterrupted time. And when the hell do I get that right now? Like it doesn't happen. And I'll tell you, folders are really hard to design because they have to work. Like they have to
yeah,
have a half stop, they have to close, you have to have enough gap inside so it doesn't blade wrap. Like the air goes have to be good. If you want it to pinch open, you have to be able to pinch it open. It's folders are really hard. I can draw fixed blades pretty fast,
yeah.
but folders are hard.
what we do
Well,
need is a Donnie design
yeah,
for Nate.
I've been saying
When
Yeah, dude.
is that coming
Dude,
in the
we need a
future?
Donnie pattern.
Have you guys talked about that?
I put
he's
like some pen on paper a little bit, but like
Uh,
it's hard and it's hard to like keep that like Ben's saying, like the juice is flowing with it where it's like I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna work something out and work something out. Cause like it's not, you know, these aren't crayon drawings, sending them out
uh,
and pumping out knives. It is really a lot of work and it's a labor of love. And I've had a few ideas and things where it's like I want a knife like this, and I have a few things in my mind that we've never really done, but like it again, and like I've messed with you guys ever like mess with like I think it's like Knife Print. There's a few like companies that will help you design a knife that have like an
Oh,
interface. 'Cause I don't know anything about CAD, so it'd have to be like on paper or on like
yeah,
Microsoft Paint.
I hear you.
You know,
yeah,
Yeah.
things get ugly real quick, dude. Like if you don't know what you're doing, you
yeah,
know, it's tough. It gave me a lot of respect for anything that Ben's done or these other knife designers and things. It's a lot, especially making it look sexy and not just a tool. It's cool, making knives that work and function well, but like it's not. It's really something when man they are beautiful. There's a lot said for that.
Yeah.
There's a
Back
long
to
way
the
of me saying
blades.
no,
Like
not really.
Baxter's Blades. I know it's probably a secret. What's the next gateway pattern? I can already tell you right now without even asking them. They ain't gonna tell
It's a
you.
secret.
No. What I will say, I'll drop one. It's not even a hint, but I'll give you a nugget, which is it's going to be a new pattern and it's not a re-release.
Oh,
Oh, nice,
nice.
nice.
So the
Can't
next
wait.
We
time you see a gateway, it'll be something new. So you have something new to look
Oh,
forward to.
nice.
And then
Awesome.
Toxic
Awesome.
Green Kieranite, for sure. I don't have any right now, which is why you haven't seen it in a little while. Like we were chipping off a pretty big pile of Kieranite, but now I'm looking up. Me and Donnie are looking at up at the shelf. It's like, crap, we got to order more Kieranite. So I was actually just talking
Yeah.
to the dude from Kieranite today. I'm about to put in a sizable order. It's because the gateways are made in bigger numbers. We're like blowing through the handle material stash like way faster than we ever have before. It puts like a new challenge just keeping up with that stuff.
hmm
Dropping
Man, I
hints.
want to
I've
piggyback
been
off
I've
of that.
been
Yeah,
a
that's a hint.
little looser with my hints recently, but
Oh,
In good
nice.
mood. In a good mood.
yeah.
Since you're talking about materials, do you have like maybe 10 different materials like Keragnite, 80s camo, or do you have like five of them and just go automatically with those five, or do you like, like I'm saying, like you have 10 different possibilities and then you narrow it down to four plus an exclusive. Sometimes you have two exclusive.
So the way that'll go down is so that's something me and Donnie spent quite a bit of time hashing out. Okay. So typically our
What you doing,
approach,
Kitty?
and I think we're starting to get pretty damn good at this too, honestly, because looking back at some of our previous choices and our more current choices, I'm like, we're starting to really get the hang of this. So we try to have a nice variety in the lineup for a given month. So I don't want to do five different carbon fibers. I don't want to do five different micartas. Like we
Yeah,
have, if you
yeah,
think about the general categories, you have carbon fiber, bone, wood, some type of acrylic, and that's pretty much it. I mean, that's kind of everything
yeah.
more or less falls into those buckets, unless I'm missing something. Now,
So
in
what
the
I
carbon,
try to go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, so we just try to have a little bit of a mix. I mean, if there's five versions that go out to all the dealers, then there's going to be some kind of mix there, right?
Yeah,
The if now with exclusives, the way we do that is so me and Donnie kind of figure out like, okay, let's pick a model. Let's say Gateway Barlow. Okay, we're going to make Gateway Barlows. We'll come up with five versions we think look good next to each other if you lined them all up. Give everybody something they might like. But then we'll go to a dealer and say, hey, would you like to have the exclusive for this production run? Here's the five we're thinking about doing. Now, if
yeah,
the dealer's like, ooh, I really want one of those five you're doing, I'll be like, cool, you can have it. We'll come up with something different, you know? But if they're like, man, we were really wanting to do, like, okay, take Blade HQ. They're saying we really want to do butterscotch micarta. Well, if I have a natural micarta in the lineup, they're too close together, right? So then
yeah,
we'll be like, okay, you take the butterscotch micarta. We'll go back to the drawing board and we're going to boot the natural micarta and we're going to come up with something totally different. So we're always trying to respect the dealer exclusive and make sure that it's dope. Like we don't want a dealer to pick something weird. We're like try to steer them away
yeah,
from things that we don't think will be popular because sometimes they ask for
yeah.
some weird stuff.
Oh
And then
wow.
also we want to make sure that like one of the ones that goes to all the other dealers isn't too much like one of theirs. So we have to
Right.
consider all of that. And then on top of that, what is available? I can't always get everything all the time. I don't always
Yeah.
I've tried to buy
hmm
stuff and put it on the shelf. Like we've got a shelf with, I don't know, 100 pounds of handle material up there, you know.
Oh wow.
Ask Donnie, he's
Yeah.
climbing up and down the ladder all the time, getting that stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
It's all, and I'm
That's
making
why he's so thin.
we pallet wrap it and label it with how many sheets and the sizes. Like I'm pretty strict
Wow.
about being organized, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And then you're doing it 12 times a year. Sometimes there's 7, 8 versions of each knife. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh. It's like you don't want to do the same thing multiple months in a row. So you really paint
Yeah.
yourself in a corner, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
pretty quick.
So I try to match them up, and it gets kind of frustrating sometimes because you can have a drop that'll have like a blue bone, but then you have a drop that doesn't, and then so I try to match them up. And all my jack wolves, I try to get like, if there's a fixed blade of 80s camo, and then the next one is, do you ever do that? Like just make them kind of exactly alike, but a different drop, so that they can be matched up. Because I know they're not matched up perfectly. Like the Melissa
No,
Backwoods, I got the 80s camo, but there's nothing to really match that.
yeah, that
It's kind
that
of hard, right?
consi- that consideration hasn't been one of our priorities because there's so many different drops. It's hard to know who wants to
Yeah,
match what with what. And when I have in the past tried to do that, so like I did big bros, I did little bros in dark matter copper, and then I
yeah.
did big bros in dark matter copper. Like, oh, people are going to want to pair these up, and then I don't see any pictures of pairs, and I'm like,
Oh,
dang,
yeah,
you know. I'm like, that's what I would have done, but it's clearly not a
yeah,
priority for people like I thought it might be,
yeah.
like
That's
guys
exactly
Love
what I
typically
that
would
what
have
dark
done.
matter copper. Love that.
we
Is that
haven't
gonna make
used
Yeah.
it
a
in a long
comeback
time.
at any
I
point?
think
Is
it
that gonna make a
needs to.
comeback?
I think dark matter, we're starting to use fat carbon more, like um
Okay.
because we just used a lot of camel carbon, and I kind of pumped the brakes on fat carbon just because we used it a lot. But I feel like it's time to bring back dark matter gold, dark matter
Yes, let's
copper.
bring it back. Let's bring it back.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
always
I
been my
think
All
it's
right.
favorite,
time to
that
start
dark
running that
matter.
stuff back because I love
Yeah.
it. It's more
Hmm.
expensive than dark matter, but it's worth it.
Yeah. That butterscotch is awesome because I see that you got the fixed blade and you got the gunslinger, and they match perfect. I'm like, damn, I want those.
Yep,
And
yep.
they
And
still
that
have them
was Blade
available,
HQ,
actually. Blade HQ still has them available. I was like, this
Oh,
close to
good.
getting,
the
yeah, they still
gunslingers.
have them available. If anybody's interested, man, they make a perfect match. I was this close to getting them, but I thought, well, what if Ben and Donnie have a drop this next month? Then I want to make sure I have, my funds saved for that drop. But
Oh,
I
the
mean,
Oz
I
Green
bought like,
Kieranite was nice. That Oz
Yeah,
yeah,
Green
that's
yeah,
Kieranite was killer on that
yep.
Barlow.
I
What was it?
think
The Big Bro. It was on the Big Bro, right?
exactly.
Mhm.
Yep, yep. They call that we called it Oz Green. I think they call it Emerald Bay. But every once in a while, me and Donnie rename something.
okay,
Um,
okay,
so
Yeah, that
the
one was
Emerald
killer. It
City.
was beautiful. Beautiful.
Yep.
yeah,
I really like
absolutely,
Kieranite a lot. I like it a
Me too.
lot
yeah,
because
Yeah.
it just looks so nice. And from a manufacturing standpoint, it's super consistent, man. Like nothing scares me like the natural materials do because, like, they're dyeing it and you hope it's consistent and you hope it doesn't shrink. You hope it doesn't swell. You hope it doesn't crack, like all that. But Kieranite's like
Mhm.
flawless.
Yeah, I love Kieranite.
So I was under the impression when I first started collecting that Kieranite was like bone; it would break. I didn't know it was like
No
really
way.
strong material. Yeah,
They
I
make
didn't
they've been
know.
making 1911 and revolver grips out of that stuff for
Oh,
decades.
really? I didn't know that.
Wow, I didn't
Oh,
know
it's
that.
Okay.
they're bigger. Their gun grip
They're sweet.
business is way bigger than their knife handle business.
Well, I didn't
So
know.
I
Okay.
actually had two chances to get the Kieranite fixed blade. I think it's the vampire because I got the titanium vampire. But I'm
Oh.
thinking, man, if I'd known that, because I really wanted that one, but I thought, well, no, it's gonna break. It's
No,
brittle.
it's not
I
going to
didn't.
break.
Yeah, I didn't know
Mhm.
any. I didn't know anything about Kieranite. Now that I do, I'm starting to buy more Kieranite, which is, you know, just beautiful.
Can we take a
And
moment and look at Boomer's Jack Wolf shrine right behind him? Hey,
Fantastic.
he burns candles at night in front of that shrine.
Ooh.
You better
Hey,
not
hold
have
on,
like
hold
a
on, hold
voodoo
on, hold on,
doll of me though.
That's what I was
hold on,
gonna
hold on.
say. He has a little Ben and Donnie
A
voodoo
little,
doll.
a little Ben and Donnie voodoo doll.
Yeah, it's like don't ever make
Man.
Sam mad. I'll all of a sudden be walking down the street, my leg breaks, my arm breaks.
Something,
Nice
Sam's sitting there.
iPhone
shrine you got
down or
there,
something.
Boomer.
Yeah.
So
Man.
let me tell you guys. The first Jack Wolf I got, I already mentioned it earlier, was the Venom. But I thought it was the coolest thing, and this is why I got so into Jack Wolf knives. I remember I had one tube, and I thought, man, this is. I've never collected anything. I've never been passionate about, besides playing guitar. I've never been passionate about anything else. I collected guitars, but something like that, this was just so cool. It was a tube, and you had stickers. I love stickers. I've always had stickers. You had your microfiber towel. You had your Pog. I remember Pogs like when I was a teenager. So I remember seeing that and going, man, that is the coolest thing. And I started just researching Jack Wolf, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna have a buttload of these. This is gonna be my thing. I'm gonna have like and I've asked Donnie, how many Jack Wolves do you have? I want to see if I got more than him,
I
but
think you're
I'm
I
nowhere
think
near
you're beating
close.
me, dude. I think you're beating me, dude.
I don't know
By
about
now.
that. But so I'm on 40. What did I say, Ben? 44, right? When I was talking to you the other day, 44.
I think it's
I think it
higher
was
than
40.
that.
I thought
I
you were
think
at
it's
50
44,
now.
44. No, I'm sorry, 50, 54. Sorry, 54.
Yeah,
See, I
I'm
get
like,
confused. Yeah, I have 54 Jack Wolf knives. And I remember going, well, I just want to collect 20. And I thought, well, you know what? I want to get 30. And then when I was getting in the 40s, I go, you know what? I want 50. I said, you know what? No, I want 100.
there you
There you
go.
go.
So my plan is to get all rid of these because I got a lot of. Thanks for showing it, Damon. By the way, I have a lot of case knives, roastcraft. I started collecting GECs. I got 7 or 8 of them. But my plan is for this wall, which I need to paint that. Well, this used to be a door. I modified that into a shelf. So my plan is to have all this just Jack Wolf knives, and then I can put my
Nice.
stuff somewhere else. So that's
I
my
was
plan.
gonna say you gotta get those other brands out of there, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is
They're
just it's filling. These are
They're,
temporary. They're filling the
yeah,
gaps,
they're feeling the
right?
yeah.
they're
I got
fillers.
you.
They're fillers.
Yeah, they're just fillers. That's all they are. Because eventually, all those will be moved somewhere else, and then I want the whole shelf to be just Jack Wolf knives. And on
The
that
whole.
note, I want to thank you guys for
Oh
this
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
awesome
show
gift,
that off.
Damien, I love you, bro. I know you had part hand in this, but if you guys can't see it, it says Sam, congrats on 1,000 subs, Ben and Donnie. So thank you guys for that. That means the world to me. I love that thing, and
I think
knowing
it's
that it's
awesome,
one of a
man.
kind, knowing that it's one of a kind makes me feel that much special. So thank you guys.
Oh,
I
you're
really
welcome.
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
It's one of the
yeah.
best, probably
Thank
the
you
best gift.
to Ben and Donnie for doing that for
Yeah,
Boomer. That was awesome of
and
you
Pete
guys.
Jersey Knife
And
Guy too
Pete.
for having part in it. And yeah,
Yeah.
Pete,
Yep.
let's not forget Pete and
Yeah, Pete
JC, I
and
believe.
JC Mountain Jar.
JC Monajar, yeah. So thank you
Yep.
guys, man. When I got that, so I made a bloopers video. I know you don't really watch a lot of videos, Ben, but I need you to go check out my bloopers video. I literally took out I was so excited to get it that I got my tripod and I put it outside and I put the phone in and I started making a quick short to show this. And the phone literally just fell off the tripod on the floor and I picked it up. Did you see it,
Yes.
Donnie? And then I
No,
picked it
I
up
have to
again
look
and I was
up.
like, oh, you got to see that, man. That shit, it'll crack you up. And I was like, I was so excited. I dropped, get out of there. Sorry. My Boston's one likes to eat cat feces.
Oof.
So yeah, I was so excited. I kept dropping the phone and I thought, you know what? I like to be real. So I'm going to leave that video and I'm going to call it
Leave
Boomer's
it.
Bloopers. Yeah.
That's
And I did.
great.
Look, man, if this whole thing makes you feel like a kid again, then that's kind of the point, isn't it?
Oh,
Yes. And that's
definitely,
why I do.
definitely.
Yeah.
Boomer feels like a kid on Christmas
Yeah,
morning every
yeah.
time he
That's
gets
what
a
I'm
it's
gonna
all
be
piece of
about,
Jack
man.
56,
Wolf.
and I feel like I'm
Yeah.
20. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's basically why it's so important to me to do videos on Jack Wolf knives, right? Because I mean, there's lots of knives out there, but this is
I
my favorite one,
appreciate
right?
that,
So,
man.
Hey,
oh
you
yeah,
guys are
yeah.
on my Mount Rushmore of companies slash designers. You guys are on my Mount Rushmore. I got CRK, Jack Wolf Knives, Pena, Chavez. The fifth one, rounding out the fifth, I'd probably say. Wait, what'd I say? Jack Wolf,
That
CRK, Pena,
CRK.
CRK,
Chavez.
Chavez, Pena. I'd probably throw GC in there.
Dude,
I
I'll tell
like
you
it,
what, I
That's
man.
probably
couldn't
my
ask to
Mount
be a
Rushmore.
better company than that. Like, that's as good as it gets, dude. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah,
That's awesome.
You know.
Big
That's
time.
awesome.
I always
yeah.
laugh.
Yeah.
I tell
Well,
this to
I'll
Ben
throw.
all the time. What's that?
Oh, I was gonna say I'll throw the question. I'll throw the same question to you guys. What's your Mount Rushmore of companies? I know you guys are knife guys. Well, what's your Mount Rushmore
Uh,
of knives?
Probably the honestly, with I got to take me out of my own Mount Rushmore. That just wouldn't be right. But the rest of it is right in line with yours. Like you and I have very similar taste. You
Yeah.
Yeah,
know,
I've
I would say
noticed
we
that.
like
Yeah.
all the same stuff. And for sure, Enrique. And
Oh
I don't
yeah.
own
Hell
a
yeah.
lot of Ramon's knives. Like his, I think he's probably the most awesome human being on earth. Like, let me
Good
just
dude.
clarify that. I'm not into the big chunky stuff, and that's like his specialty.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think his designs are sick, but I don't carry stuff that looks like that typically. But I would put him on my Mount Rushmore of coolest people in the industry for sure.
Mhm.
Um, as far as the knives go, I don't know. I think about that for a second. What were you going to say, Donnie? While I'm thinking.
Oh no, because Boomer was talking about how much fun he has with Jack Wolf and stuff, and I was telling Ben like it's one of my pet peeves with reviewers, with knife reviewers, right? Because I've watched this stuff for like 8
I know
years
you
or
do.
whatever it's been. Yeah, I've been
Mhm.
I've been into it for a long time. But my pet peeve is when I watch a YouTuber talk about the practicality factor of a knife, and they're talking
Mhm.
about like a $200 whatever, and like oh
Yeah.
the how practical it is, and they're kind of like going through the minutia of uh the pros and cons and all this stuff, and I'm like, just if you like it, buy it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Like it's
Yeah.
not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is
Exactly.
we don't need it. Almost any
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
it. Like you don't. It's a
Yeah.
good. Like it's fun. It's okay that it's just fun and that you want it because you like it, and that's okay. You
Exactly.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I
we
agree.
all got like, hey, we all knock on scissors. Like all the scissors will do the
Yeah.
job, or whatever.
Yep.
Like don't
Yeah.
tell nobody. Don't tell anyone that I'm telling you this. But like
Yeah.
it's cool, it's fun, it's enjoy. It makes you feel like a kid. It makes you, all this different stuff. Like
Yeah.
to me, that makes it. I don't know. It's just kind of get when I hear people talk about the practicality of a knife. I'm like, yeah, it's true, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm still
I
I.
thinking
agree.
I.
about my Mount Rushmore. I don't know.
me
I
too.
got to get back to you on that.
Yep.
That's a amazing uh, question. Is like
Yeah.
who's on your Mount Rushmore of knife companies, right? It's easy to like maybe be like, oh, I want Spyderco up there, but it's like keep the 800-pound gorillas off Mount Rushmore, right? Like think
Yeah.
of the more enthusiast brands, right?
Yeah.
That's tough.
So I'm more into the more enthusiast brands, like you said. I'm not really a Benchmade guy. I have one, and that'll definitely be my only one. They're good knives. Don't get me wrong. It's just not my thing. I bought one just to experience. Actually, uh, Damien had a big hand in that, and my buddy Rick, because they're like, man, you got to get one. They're nice. I got one. I like it, and that's all I need in my collection. I don't really need a whole bunch of
Uh,
Benchmade.
Yeah, I'll
I
be
don't
honest.
I
I've
don't know
never
this.
really got. I never really got big into Benchmade or Spyderco. I like a couple other designs, but I never really got
No.
that big into Benchmade or Spyderco.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a couple of Spider. I just bought the Shaman, but I wanted to experience something different because I've have two paramilitary twos, PM2s, and of course I customized them. I put different scales, stuff like that. I thought, well, let me try the Shaman. It's all right, and it hurts the hell out of your finger though when you bring it back down. He's around here somewhere.
Scapegoat
Thanks,
from
Justin.
Chavez or a Ron Evo 3. Oh, Ron Evo and then All Jack Wolf.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Nice.
dude. Big time,
Yeah, heck yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go soon,
man.
fellas. Do
All right.
we want to
Well,
pick up any questions from the audience before I take off? It's hard to kind of track the
uh,
comments while I'm on the live.
I don't see anything.
Skull has a question here. Have you considered an extra large Barlow?
I guess the question is, how do you define XL? I think we could do it in the Gateway series. If I make a cutting edge over 3 inches, I exclude the UK. I'm sensitive to that. We're trying to grow our business there. But I
Yeah.
can make a pretty good size Barlow if I kept the cutting edge just let's say 2.99. Probably be a pretty good size knife, honestly.
Huh,
I know you have
okay.
said before about on the Gateway series doing like a two-bladed knife, or I don't know if you ever said a three-bladed knife, but are we gonna be seeing that sooner rather than later, like a two-bladed Gateway?
I would say later rather than sooner because
Okay.
I would roll what I my program would probably be let's roll out, let's say target 20 different patterns. Might not make it that far, but that's kind of where my head's at. Let's roll out 20 different patterns over 3 to 5 years, however long it takes to do that, because you got some repeats in there, right? So you're not going to do 20
Yeah.
patterns in 20 months. So let's try to roll out 20 patterns. Now, at some point when you're getting closer to that 20, you're starting to develop that multi-blade concept and see if it even works. Like, I don't know if this manufacturer can make those. I don't know if they're going to be any good. You know, it's you're talking about added complexity, right? Because more to go wrong. And
Yeah.
now you start to reduce, in my opinion, you reduce the size of the pool of people willing to buy them. And what I've concluded is that
Oh,
every knife guy will buy a single blade knife, but not every knife guy will buy a multi blade knife. Like there
yep.
are
Oh, I
guys
never
who
thought
will
about
not
that.
buy them.
Okay.
They just
Yeah.
won't buy them. They'll pass,
Yeah.
right? Because like I won't carry them. They're heavy. I don't need two blades. Now the handle feels weird because when I use it, there's a blade that's
There's
closed.
another blade
Now
there. Yep.
I can't pinch it open because there's another blade in the way. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of reasons not to buy a two blade knife in today's day and age. Back in the
Yeah.
day when our grandparents are younger, like way more common, I think. Also,
Yeah.
Hmm.
they were using buttery soft steel and blade went dull real fast. So like, okay,
Yep.
cool, I
Yeah.
got
So
a
you'd
second
have
one.
extra. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
And
like
not only
the
that, so I was going to say, not only that, maybe back then they couldn't afford more than one knife. Times were
right.
different. So a
Totally.
three-bladed knife is like perfect, or what?
Yep. So the way I look at it is like, am I interested? Yes. But am I chomping at the bit? No. Like I've got other priorities. Now I think you could do something. Me and Donnie have talked about this where it's like, okay, so just take like a Barlow. Okay, you got a primary clip point, you have a secondary little pen blade or something. So let's say we do a Gateway Barlow drop. Well, maybe I can, if they'll let me do it, one of the five versions is a double blade,
Oh,
so
that'd be cool.
I'm not making a whole production run of these things, like,
Right.
taking a huge risk. If I could take a smaller risk, but
Uh-huh.
that to me makes a little more
Yeah.
sense because we got to be really mindful about overstocking dealers, right? Like that's not good. It's not good for them, it's not good for us. And if I put out stuff that a small vocal minority wants, inevitably we're overstocking dealers if that happens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's true.
So to
Yeah. I see
me,
what
I got
you're
the
saying.
best chance of success if I stick with single blades, figure out which single blades are really popular, maybe don't repeat the ones that aren't as popular at all or as often. And then the ones that are real hot, and okay, let's start with that one and talk about a second blade version of that one. Like
Hmm.
I want to be more careful about that. I'm not Great Eastern Cutlery. Great Eastern Cutlery is an American traditional knife manufacturer, and they're going to get more leeway on a double bladed or a triple bladed thing. And I
Yeah.
guarantee you, in the entire history of them, up until everything they made sold, like prior to that, I'm sure that the multi-bladed stuff sat longer than the single bladed stuff. Because man, there were several years where GECs did not sell through quickly. Would you ever consider printing
Titanium
presents?
Justin has a question. Would you ever consider carbon fiber handle with resin top?
Deeply. I'd never heard of that.
Never seen that
I would have
before.
to. So, Justin, in order for us to do anything, I got to be able to buy it in bulk in sheets from a manufacturer at the right thickness and the right size. So that's a challenge sometimes. I mean, we're sending
Hmm.
like 100 sheets, 12 by 12 off sometimes or more. I'm talking these
Yeah.
are big, heavy boxes. I'm on the live
Yeah.
stream. What's up? Hold on. Oh, no way. All right, I'll look at that with you in a little bit. This is my daughter.
Blade bench
Oh, okay.
dark
Okay.
mode collaboration.
Yeah, we did a scuffle. The scuffle dealer exclusive was with Blade Bench.
Oh,
Oh
I missed
yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
that's
That
right.
I never
that
saw
was a
that one.
dark mode. Yeah, that thing
Yeah,
crushed too. That thing was gone in like an hour or something.
Yeah,
yeah,
We
that
got to
was a
do it
good
Probably why
one.
I
again.
didn't see it. That's probably why I
Yeah,
didn't
it
see it.
was crazy.
We have a good
We sh
relationship with those guys. So if you guys want to see
yeah.
a dark mode collab with Blade Binge, get in their ear. Tell them to hit me up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, they're good people.
Jay's asking Sodbuster Jr. in the Gateway series. I guess that would be like a Pioneer Junior for you guys, right?
Exactly, exactly.
yeah,
I
Pioneer.
Yeah, I mean, would the Gateway series be complete without some kind of sodbuster in it? I mean, I
There
gotta
we
have
go,
We
one.
did,
baby.
yeah.
There we
I
go.
gotta
I
have
would
one.
Yeah.
love a Sodbuster.
But here's
Yep.
the thing,
Same
like,
here.
do we put a bolster on it like I did with the Pioneer, or do we go shadow pattern with some kind of rivet looking thing like they typically are done? Like, what do you guys want to see?
I'd rather see a bolster on
Oh,
it, to
yeah.
be honest.
I think I'd rather
One,
see a
it's more
bolster.
durable, and it'll be different. So you do different stuff, Ben. You don't. Nobody does what you do. What you guys do, right? So I think the bolster would be a good idea. Just my opinion, of course,
I'm
but because
inclined to
it would
put a
be a side
bolster on
buster,
it.
Uh,
huh?
That's
yeah,
what I would like
I
to
like
do.
the bolster look because it's like a more modern look to it.
Yeah,
It's clean, man. You
yeah,
know?
it's clean. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a little more dressed up if we put a bolster on it than if
Exactly.
we
I'd,
just have it
Yeah.
I'd
be
say
a
bolster.
shadow.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd say bolster for sure.
Yeah.
Shadow pattern. Okay. Huh.
Jay wants a shadow pattern.
Yeah.
Trucking
Jackal
Reviews
nut.
loves the Blade Bench collaboration for sure.
Cool.
Oh, Jody wants to know, is there going to be any more javelinas?
Oh yes, good question. I don't have one.
Right now, we're really focused on the gateway. Now, the javelina is a sow belly. So if you guys want to see a sow belly gateway, like now's the time to make a vote for something like that because it's a pattern
Hmm.
I'm always really fond of. Yeah. Now that's it. Okay, let's talk about
Yeah,
multi-blade
the
knives. That
beaver.
knife in particular, like GC for the longest time never had a sow belly, right? And then they made one. And I think it's awesome. But you don't get to feel what it's like to hold the sow belly handle shape when one of the blades is closed.
Oh, I hear
Yep.
you. Yeah.
Very true. Kind of
I
uncomfortable.
will say I love the look of a sow belly with that warren or with that sheep's foot blade on it.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a lamb's foot on that one.
Yeah,
That's a
lamb's
lamb's
foot.
foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other one's a clip blade.
Yep, big long what do they call that? Like a muskrat clip or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, great knife, super comfortable handle, but I think a single blade version of that would be nasty, dude,
I agree.
with the
Yeah.
lamb's
I think.
foot.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree, Ben. I agree.
I
Yeah.
just want to have a lean in my life. That's it. I asked Ben and Donnie both. You guys got an extra one you can sell me? And then Ben told me to
No.
ask Donnie. I was like, I've already did. I had asked you like I don't know, almost a year ago. So I
Yeah, you don't
asked
see 'em
Ben
on a
recently.
secondary a lot either.
No, you don't. You don't. You don't. And I've seen one or two, and I don't have the money at the time when I do see it.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Roman's asking, how about a wolf toe instead of a elephant toe?
If you could call it a wolf toe, that'd be
A
funny.
wolf toe
Uh,
instead of an elephant toe. That's a good one.
I
Yep.
like it.
All right, fellas. Well, I apologize. I got
No, you're
some
good, Ben.
things I got to do tonight.
We'll
Okay.
get
All
some
right, guess
Ben,
dinner,
what?
thanks for
bro.
hanging out.
I guess we'll go ahead
Huh?
and call it, guys. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for hopping in the chat here. Thank you to Ben and Donnie for hopping on the live.
Thank
Thank
you
you guys for
guys.
coming on the show, guys. Awesome time with you guys. Always a good time talking to you guys.
Likewise. Thanks
Yeah,
for
thank
having
you
us.
guys.
Good to see all
Appreciate
you
it. Love you
guys.
Likewise,
guys.
guys. Thanks for the invite.
Good
Appreciate
night.
it.
Yeah, heck
Have a
yeah.
great
All right, thank
weekend.
you
Have a
guys.
good night. Be
We're
safe.
gonna go ahead and call it, guys. Thank you guys for joining in, and we will see you guys on the next one, baby. We out.
See you.
Peace.